They bound him to a metal pole in the center of the training yard like a criminal, and not one person dared to look him in the eye. But what they didn't know was that the general watching from the tower had seen the soldier's name before, written in blood on a classified report from Kandahar. The morning sun had barely cracked the horizon when Staff Sergeant Marcus Webb was dragged from his barracks. His hands weren't cuffed. They didn't need to be. He walked between the two military police officers with his head down, shoulders slumped, saying nothing. Round him, dozens of young recruits stopped mid-push-up, mid-run, mid-breath. The entire base seemed to freeze. Whispers spread like wildfire through the formation. That's the guy, the one who froze, got his whole team killed. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening to this story unfold. Marcus didn't resist when they pressed his back against the pole, didn't flinch when they looped the rope around his torso, binding him there in full view of everyone. His face remained blank, hollow, like someone who had already accepted his fate. The commanding officer of the training battalion, Colonel Hendricks, stood 10 feet away, arms crossed, face red with barely contained fury. This was meant to be a lesson, a public shaming, an example of what happens when a soldier fails. You want to know what happens when you hesitate? Hendricks shouted, his voice echoing across the yard. When you let fear control you instead of following orders, you get people killed. Good people, better people than you. Marcus didn't respond. He stared at the ground, jaw tight, breathing slowly through his nose. The recruits shifted uncomfortably. Some looked away, others stared with a mixture of curiosity and disgust. No one knew the full story, only fragments, rumors, a mission gone wrong, a squad ambushed, bodies that never made it home, and Marcus, the only one who survived. What none of them saw was the figure standing in the observation tower overlooking the yard. Brigadier General Raymond Cross, commander of the entire base, had been reviewing transfer files when he heard the commotion. He'd stepped to the window and spotted the scene below. His eyes narrowed. Then he saw the name on the soldier's uniform, Webb. The general's hand tightened around the edge of the desk. He knew that name. He knew it well. Colonel Hendricks was still shouting, "You're a disgrace to this uniform, a coward. I don't care what your record says. You failed when it mattered most." Someone in the crowd coughed. A few recruits exchanged uncertain glances, but no one spoke up. No one dared. Marcus closed his eyes. His lips moved slightly, as if reciting something only he could hear. A prayer, maybe, or the names of the men he'd lost. The sun climbed higher, baking the yard in relentless heat. Sweat dripped down his temples. His wrists ached from the rope, but he didn't make a sound. Then, from across the yard, came the steady rhythm of boots on gravel. Everyone turned. General Cross descended from the tower, moving with the kind of authority that didn't need to announce itself. His uniform was immaculate, his face carved from stone. Behind him, two aides scrambled to keep up, confusion written all over their faces. The general hadn't told anyone he was coming down. He simply walked, cutting a direct path through the formation of stunned recruits, straight toward the pole where Marcus was tied. Hendricks straightened immediately. "General, sir." Cross raised one hand. Silence fell like a hammer. The general stopped 3 feet from Marcus. For a long moment, he simply looked at him. Then he spoke, his voice low but carrying across the entire yard. "Staff Sergeant Marcus Webb. Serial number?" Marcus lifted his head slowly. His voice was hoarse, but steady. 2749-563, sir." Cross nodded. Then he turned to face the crowd, the hundreds of young soldiers watching with bated breath. "Does anyone here know what this man did in Kandahar?" No one answered. "I'll tell you." Cross's voice grew harder, colder. On October 14th, Staff Sergeant Webb's unit was providing convoy security when they were ambushed by a coordinated insurgent attack, RPGs, heavy machine gun fire. The convoy was cut in half within seconds, 6 vehicles burning, 17 men trapped. The yard was so quiet you could hear the wind. Webb's vehicle took a direct hit. He was thrown 30 feet, suffered a concussion, fractured ribs, second-degree burns on his left side. But he got up. Cross paused, letting the weight of it settle. He got up, and he ran back into the kill zone. Not once, 7 times. A recruit gasped. Someone whispered, "No way." He pulled 11 men out of burning vehicles under sustained enemy fire. 11. He carried them on his back, dragged them by their vests, shielded them with his own body. He took 3 rounds to his plate carrier, and when the medevac finally arrived, he collapsed. The medic said he should have been dead. Twice over, Hendricks had gone pale. Cross turned back to Marcus. "But 6 men still died that day, didn't they, Sergeant?" Marcus's voice cracked. "Yes, sir, 6, and you blame yourself every day, sir." The general's expression softened, just slightly. "You think you failed them because you couldn't save all of them. You carry their names like stones around your neck. You replay every second, every choice, wondering what you could have done differently." He stepped closer. "But here's the truth, Sergeant. You didn't freeze. You ran toward the fire when everyone else was running away. You saved 11 lives. 11 families got their sons, their husbands, their fathers back because of you." Tears streamed down Marcus's face now, silent and uncontrolled. Cross reached up and began untying the ropes himself. Hendricks moved forward instinctively, then stopped, uncertain. The general worked methodically, loosening each knot until the ropes fell away. Marcus stumbled forward slightly, and Cross caught him by the shoulder, steadying him. "You didn't fail them," the general said quietly, just for Marcus to hear. "You honored them, and they would be proud of what you did." Then Cross turned to Hendricks. His voice was ice. "Colonel, you will issue a formal apology to this soldier. You will expunge this incident from his record, and you will never, never publicly humiliate one of my men without knowing the full story again. Do I make myself clear?" Hendricks snapped to attention. "Yes, sir, crystal clear, sir." The general addressed the entire formation. "Let this be a lesson to all of you. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's not about being perfect or saving everyone. Courage is doing what's right when everything inside you is screaming to run. That's what a soldier looks like. Remember that." He turned back to Marcus. "You're reassigned. Sergeant, you're coming with me. We need men like you training the next generation. Men who understand what real sacrifice looks like." Marcus could barely speak. "Sir, I don't know what to say." "Then don't say anything. Just keep doing what you've always done. Keep showing up." As the general walked away, the yard erupted. Not in whispers, but in respect. Slowly, one recruit began clapping, then another, then all of them. Marcus stood there, tears still wet on his face, and for the first time in months, he allowed himself to breathe. Because courage doesn't shout, it endures, it sacrifices, and it saves lives when no one's watching. If this story moved you, subscribe, because every week I bring you the truths that need to be told.